Greetings and salutations. Welcome back to my channel. Before we begin with everything, for the next couple of days, you might not be getting many videos because I have some stuff going on. But once I get to a better workflow, content will be coming out. I'm probably gonna rebrand the channel, not rebrand, but I have some more opportunities coming up and I want to be able to fit everything together. So please bear with me. I am not gone. I'm just doing everything I can to balance all my responsibilities and still put out quality content. Unless you don't think it's quality content. Anyway, that's what's going on. Moving on. If you don't know who George Floyd is, where have you been? But for most of the world, we know that last year, George Floyd was brutally murdered, in my opinion, by police officer Derek Chauvin and 3 other policemen who were bystanders. They're just as culpable for not doing anything. Anyway, if you've been following the case, Derek Chauvin has been found guilty. He was sentenced to 22 and a half years, and I'm here to kind of give my opinion on everything because I haven't spoken openly about how I feel about the George Floyd case and Derek Chauvin. First, I want to tell you why I haven't talked about any of this. It's mainly because black men and black women have been getting killed by policemen for decades, and nothing has ever come out of it. The most recent thing that most people in my generation would know is Rodney King. Rodney King was savagely beaten by police in LA in, I believe it was, I don't know the year, it was in the early 90s. And all the cops were found not guilty of hurting him. He did live, he survived the beating, thank God, but still none of the cops were found guilty. Time after time, year after year, a black person will get killed at the hands of a police officer and nothing is done about it. So when George Floyd was killed by Derek, I didn't want to comment because I said, same shit, different day. He's not going to be found guilty of anything if this even goes to trial. That was my thought process last year. That is why I didn't want to comment. Also, everyone was outraged. Everybody had an opinion. Most of the things I thought other people had said. So I didn't feel like I needed to contribute to the conversation. Moving forward, Derek has a trial. I'm interested, obviously. At this point, I'm thinking, okay, thank God he's going to trial for killing this man. Still did not want to speak about it. Why? Because I'm thinking he'll just get off. There's nothing to talk about, unfortunately. That's another key point. Next thing. Derek is found guilty. Thank you, Jesus. And I say to myself, yes, he's been found guilty. I still don't want to talk about it, though. Why? Because I'm thinking he will get probation for what he's done, which he shouldn't, but this is the America that we live in. Another reason why I didn't want to comment. So, finally, last Friday, he is convicted, well, he is sentenced, I'm sorry. Derek Chauvin is sentenced to 22 and a half years in prison. And I say to myself, okay, now I can say something. Now I feel like all the anxiety, the pent-up anxiety that I had inside, I can let it out because justice has finally been served. And here is my thought. This might be an unpopular opinion, but if it worked for coronavirus and the global lockdown, I do not believe that Derek Chauvin would be in prison today. Everyone in America was, and all over the world, were forced to sit and watch and see what's happening and pay attention. Before COVID, everybody was extremely self-absorbed into their own stuff, so it didn't matter. Because of COVID, we had to sit, we were forced to listen to that man begging for his life, and there was nothing we could do about it. I am happy that he did not get probation. He got 22 and a half years. Now, I was reading that in Minnesota, you have to serve 2/3 of your sentence before you can be considered for parole, which means he has to serve at least no less than 15 years before he can consider to be parole, which makes me happy. I also read that he will more than likely be in solitary confinement for his own safety. He only gets 1 hour a day, I believe, to go outside and exercise, but for the rest of that time, he's in solitary confinement. Personally, I want him to be in general population, but we all know he wouldn't last probably an hour in Gen Pop. But I do like knowing that he will have nothing to do. He's going to have to sit with his thoughts. I want him to hear George pleading for his life over and over again. I want the loneliness to drive him insane. I want him to I basically want him to mentally crack. To kind of wrap up everything, I kind of want to highlight what I've said, to kind of bring it all in. We can sit here and argue because people are going to say that George Floyd wasn't a saint. Yes, he wasn't. But it doesn't matter. A man's life was taken for no reason. I am sick and tired of hearing if black people would just comply with the police, none of this would happen. I am sick and tired of hearing that. I had somebody tell me that 2 weeks ago at the bar that I hang out with friends. So I turned around and I asked him, why don't you become a black man for the day? And he asked me, why would I do that? And I said, because by your logic, all black people need to do is comply. Why don't you be that magical black man that we don't have to show us how we should act around police? And you know what he did? He got up and walked away. You know why he got up and walked away? Because he knew that what he said was completely racist. He knew how stupid he was, and he did not want to look inside of himself and realize that he is part of the problem for why we never get the justice that black people deserve when it comes to these unfortunate crimes. I think there is so much more work that needs to be done. I think this is just the tip of the iceberg, because if you've been paying attention to the news, it seems like police brutality is at an all-time high. It's almost as if some of these officers are trying to get in as many cop killings, as many shootings as possible before the laws really change. That's how I feel. I feel as if this is the tip of the iceberg. This is a great start, but there is so much more work that needs to be done. So please know that when I am silent, it is not because I don't feel like I should talk about it. It's that what is there to say when we have had continuous injustice? What can you say? There is no opinion I would have, because it keeps happening time and time again. Come back to me in another year and maybe I'll have a different answer. Maybe I'll be more opinionated. But until that time comes, until I see consistent change, until I see all of these cops being held accountable for what they've done, it's going to happen again, and we're all going to be crying again. We're all going to be saying what a tragedy it was. But until things change, there's really nothing to talk about. And that is my thoughts on George Floyd, Derek Chauvin, like I guess the police system. I don't know much about it, so I'm not going to speak on what I don't know, but I do know that there's a lot of injustice in this world, in this country, and George Floyd's death unfortunately woke up a lot of people, and I truly believe there will be changes. I think it's going to be slow, but I do believe there are going to be changes. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. Please comment below with all your thoughts. I'm really excited to hear them. I want you to tell me how you feel. Let me know if you think he deserved it. I don't agree with you, but I will respect you for your opinion anyway. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Again, like I said at the beginning, some really exciting and awesome things are happening in my life, and I'm trying to figure out a way to balance everything. Please bear with me. Consider becoming a patron on patreon.com for just $1 a month, all the way up to 15, the different tiers. Is that a fly? Is that a fly? Anyway, yes, please do that. I love you. Thank you for all the support. I gotta go kill a fly. Bye.